but then also the cooperative business model as well of why the co-op gets to do the things that it gets to do today. So I kind of wanted to start off with my first introduction to Coos Co-op. So before I
Sorry. Thanks for coming up to us. 1 second. I'm so sorry.
thing about them is that I always offer to do things with. I'm like, yep, you're coming. I've already volunteered to.
This is a real struggle, guys. I'm so sorry. No one online can hear. I'm just trying to figure it out. So much for testing this earlier. I don't know how to shut this up is the problem.
Not me.
Just continue.
Okay.
We'll figure it
So
out.
the co-op's mission is, as the oldest operating natural food store on the southern coast, Coos Food Co-op is committed to encouraging and educating our community by actively contributing to the health and well-being of all inhabitants by serving as a source for wholesome, natural, and organic goods. So I wanted to play this first video because I think everybody's question is like, what is a co-op? What is it that you do? And so when we started planning for what February would look like and what our anniversary would look like, we decided to answer a couple questions by asking our shoppers. Here's a short video.
Well, first of all, let's go co-operative. And for operating food for a co-community. So the whole community participates.
Food cooperative is a place where you can get delicious, local, healthy food, and everybody knows your name.
The co-op is a place of education and community.
I can buy things any size that I want. I love that. I can always find local micro producers and beauty products, which is the co-ops are the only game in town for that.
I was just wondering, food cooperative is a food market, is that is one by species.
Things that purchase local products like Grandma Jack.
Yeah, sorry.
I love celebration. You go into a co-op, there's a completely wonderful feeling that only exists.
We get food, all of these people. We work together.
That's what I did. I'm hoping it's still loud enough for them. But yeah, if I turned it all the way down, I couldn't hear anything.
So then we look at the definition of what is a cooperative. In the International Cooperative Alliance defines a cooperative or a co-op as an association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. So for me, whenever I read definitions, I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean exactly? Can you please expand on that? And so, in other words, cooperatives are created by people who have a specific need and who are willing to work together to operate and organize a company that will meet that need. Okay, so here's another video. And this just goes in detail about the different types of co-ops.
A cooperative is an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratic controlled enterprise. Simply, co-ops are businesses or organizations founded
Third is member economic participation, and the fourth is autonomy and independence. The fifth block principle is education, training, and information. Number 6 is cooperation among communities. And number 7 is concern for community. Another video, because we're going into the history. And this is one of my favorite parts of Coos, because, you know, how could I tell a story? You know, how could I tell the Coos story if I was not around when they first started? And so what I did was I got members, some of the members who were around back then, and I tried to, you know, it was like coordinating and bringing everybody in. Some people have moved, but they all decided to do Zoom calls. So we had to like work with them to get them actually on Zoom. But once they agreed to it, it was a hit. So I want to kind of like go through this video.
Okay, what I remember, maybe some differences of memories, but with other people, but what I remember is, Dino and Mondi and I and Roger and other people living in a house together. Right? They needed a place to buy brown rice. So, just waterbed store in Coos Bay. They discovered that this store sold brown rice in the back of the store in burlap bags. Pound bag. And the guy that owned the store was Bob. And then at some point in this, there was a meeting set up at the library. We talked about co-op. Co-ops were starting to sprout around all over the United States. So I went to that meeting with Mike Nice and Roger, I believe, was there, and some other people from our house. It was Lee White was there, Bob Henderson was there.
Do you remember moving over to Virginia? Is it Virginia, a word, a street? Virginia was a big, that was a big step for us because it was like a real store. I think we took over it. And it was much more official. And it was a big, big move. Kind of exciting.
We moved to Coos in 1973, and it was just in shopping with the store really Virginia. And then when we got we became part of the store in Virginia, I plugged into finding a new space. And then, you know, we were the one down in this country, we are building. I didn't. I'm sure that number one let's go for it. It was pretty much of a mess. It was the 1920s. It was built with the meat processing, big old cart and wood freezer and refrigerator. We bought it and moved it and trying to turn that space and provide the old meat cooler and everything, and cork walls. Yeah, the cork walls were maybe 2 feet with this. And I remember Jamie Faraday, this man got something hands outside. It was an awful job, I'm sure. I don't know if it probably wasn't whether I'm in bed right now, but It's not like that, all the way into that. The kids. And they get a side of the back door and run it up and it'll go right into it's a cooler thing. We converted that cooler into an office. I can still remember it had one little window facing toward the street. And that was Moses and Dan's office. And oh my gosh. And then we went from there to beginning to renovate what we already had in there. You know.
I remember putting drywall up on scaffolding over my head. They were 10 foot long sheets and 2 people were holding it, and we didn't have fancy screw guns or nail guns. So imagine putting the nails in over your head while holding it.
Actually 12 foot.
Thank you very much. I thought I.
Now, don't forget when we were really young.
Another thing that happened, Don and he rebuilt the front of the door. They had to do it in a day.
Another one of those things you do when you're young.
We were open the whole day, and we had to finish it that day. But they figured out a plan to disassemble it and reassemble it and secure the building before the end of the day.
One of my favorite stories about the whole transition was the style of the new school. The Northwest Corner. Huge open lot in the Northwest Corner was leaked. Well, leaked nothing, but it was down on the street, you know. And so I had to do some beans and gas and my parking.
Yeah.
I'm still puzzled. Anyway, we put the beat up and started jacking it up until it got really loud. And we stand back and wait for it to get quiet. And we drop it up, put the jets under it, and jet it until it got to the noise level. The focus not good. We stopped and go off. And I don't know if we did that maybe 3 or 4 times and finally said, it was good, it was good.
I don't remember how we did the books or whatever. And I guess we had a cash register and.
Signed and got a number on the card, and that gave us the lifetime membership.
Oh, we stopped down. I remember, I had a key. I come in and shop. There's Richard Kuznitsky when they're shopping. We pile our money up at the cash register. Go to what we bought or whatever it may. And that was I can remember that some of those board meetings were very contentious. The people had very strong ideas. I remember what a lengthy meeting was. People arguing back and forth about whether we should have a microwave in the store. All those microwaves and everything. First wife, she organized a lot of fundraisers and she organized a lot of bar dances up in Fort Ross's.
Oh, yeah, annual meetings. That's why we have annual meetings with Barnett.
I don't know, one of those bar dances in Fort Ross's. Yes. And you look like what you walk down below the main floor. Yeah. It's up to the sort of floor was like bouncing like a trampoline. It's like, well, what are we going to do about this? And I think we just said, oh, well.
Yeah.
We're bouncing like. It was really a ball. And we're all part of this big family, and we've remained together for 50 years. When I moved here and started working at the Biology Institute, so the reason I started shopping there is because I didn't know anybody in town. I figured it'd be a good place to get shopping. And it was.
It sure was.
It really was.
I was married to Tom Hennigan. So he and I lived in the little apartment next to the store, and we managed the store. I guess it was 1971. And I got pregnant and had David, who is now 48, 49 this year. And Dino delivered him in the store, in the apartment, right next to the store. I wouldn't do that. Thanks. A lot of people, were having kids at the time, and I just remember they bring them all in and sit around at a big table. And I mean, it's a great way to kind of, no one had relatives around, so it's a great support system.
That reminds me of the kids area we had in that one that we're building, bring our kids and let them play, well.
Yeah, we had that little wall. Yeah. And we put.
They can, Bill built that little fence around it. His mothers really loved that thing. That was that thing to leave. People really liked that. They could stop too and do their thing back.
Yeah, there used to be a cheese factory in Reedport, and we bought our cheese from there. They also sold us moldy cheese. We sell it at the co-op for like $1 a lot or something like that. And that was a great feeling. It just scraped the mold off. And then like all of a sudden, you couldn't get it anymore. We asked the cheese factory, what's going on? We solved the problem? And he said, no, we're selling all our moldy cheese to Kraft Food. And they're making processed cheese. That was the real eye opener to me.
So we get these big canisters that were cardboard, and they would just cut them down as people dished out of it. And we said, you get down to the bottom of these big canisters, and it was full of utensils. And kids dropped toys in there. Morning, and he said there was this trail of ants going up. I'm the beacon and back out. Back to their nest. And we just scraped it off. We listened to this. Things have changed.
I visit this family as well, and going into that store now is incredible. It's beautiful. It's so much fun to shop in. And it's just like a real store. It's just it's really appreciated.
All at the same time. It's really great. People are just incredible. Everybody's been so circle, but I'm both Terry and I are now employees of Coos Co. on the ground and see why things are the way they are. It's like, it is really intense learning.
Let's hope that the co-op lasts for another 50 years. You know, we pushed the wagon, got it going. Now it's up to somebody else to tear it in, so.
Yeah, it looks like it's in good hands.
Yeah.
A lot of other, that should brought up a lot more memories for me, and I could elaborate, but we don't have time.
So here we have Sheila Knight, who was actually in the video. It shows her and her husband in front of the co-op. It also shows how the inside of the co-op used to look on Marion Street, and then at the bottom, Dick and Bonnie. It says Dick and Bonnie volunteered every week at the co-op. You could often catch them wrapping cheese at the register. The dynamic duo co-signed the loan in order for a Coos food store to purchase the building in 1960, Sherman, downtown North Van Avenue.
So really, a big reason the co-op exists today is because Bonnie and Dick made it possible for us to purchase the building and invest in that real estate, which helped us move on to a bigger building. So I guess they had a lot of foresight in what was needed, and they were involved for, you know, like it says, weekly. So yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. So to the right, it also showcases. So here we have a couple folks participating in an auction in 1978. They mentioned that the co-op used to host fundraisers or dances in order to raise money for the co-op. And then at the bottom is pictures of Bill and Mary Sanders. They walked or rode their bikes from Lakeside, Oregon to work at the co-op on the weekend. They set the example for living sustainable efforts before it was a way of life. Deb says the paper bags felt like fabric from reusing them so many times.
I mean, Bill and Mary were doing sustainability to the max in the early 70s. Like they siphoned their bathwater out to water their garden. I mean, these folks, they had it down.
And so those are the many different storefronts. And then so the question is, so we're learning about the 7 principles of cooperatives. And the slide says, so how exactly does Coos incorporate these cooperative principles? So, okay, so number 1 was voluntary and open membership. This means anyone can join the co-op. And we have tried to push the initiative this year so that way we can show that members look different. You know, members can have different age ranges. And we also, I have a lot of youth that come into the co-op and they shop, and I always let them know that they are owners as well. Okay, so democratic member control. Members control their business by deciding how it's run and who leads it. So we have a board of directors. If you are a member of the co-op, you probably voted on certain things. One of here was an example when the co-op switched from a not-for-profit to an actual co-op. And it shows that the co-op members had a hand in if they wanted to go that route. If we wanted to be a co-op, we did it. And at that time, we were Coos Food Store, so when we reincorporated, we became Coos Food Co-op.
I might just add.
Oh, of course.
So back when the co-op started, we found this out later when we were talking about reincorporating to a cooperative. We always called ourselves a co-op. And that wasn't uncommon back in the late 60s and 70s. A lot of stores around the country either incorporated as a co-op or a not-for-profit. And some states didn't have a way to incorporate as a co-op. But we found out that our store made the decision to incorporate originally as a not-for-profit because it was more economical. But then later, found out the advantages to being a co-op, and that set us on the path to reincorporating as an Oregon cooperative. And Bobby Stewart was kind of our fearless leader at the time that happened.
$25 and then it'll be $5 a month. Until you get to $150. But that $150 is a lifetime and it is also refundable. So say for instance, if you move out of the community, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna cash my membership in and join another co-op and then come back and rejoin the Coos co-op, you have that option as well. And so why should you invest? Well, the co-op is member and community owned. As an owner, have a say in your co-op, participating in by voting for the board of directors, serving as a board of director, or help as a member of a board committee. We also have 10% off, 10% case or special order discount. We also have annual patronage dividends. When the co-op is profitable, a portion of the net income may be returned to the owners based on their annual purchase. The more you shop, the more you earn. It's refunded as if you overpaid throughout the year.
Yeah, so I think the other reason I think people want to join is they like the business model of a co-op. And just like Jamar said, you know, and when we started the co-op, we did it on a discount basis. So here people are working, getting a discount, and then it's like, oh, money's tight. How are we going to pay these bills? And then it's like, oh, the consultants say we should reincorporate as a co-op. Don't give your money away until you've made money. So then at the end of the year, when you have extra money, you can give it back to them as if they overpaid during the year. But you're not giving it away before you pay your bills. So that was one of the other contributing factors when we decided to reincorporate as a co-op. Because as a not-for-profit, we couldn't give back dividends, but as a co-op, you can. But that's only if you have money to give away.
And we put at the bottom, so when I first came to the co-op, this was actually on the wall. And I was like, whoa, you know, and here I am looking at this, and I'm like, it does say a lot of things about a co-op, because when I was a cashier, most times people come in and they're like, we're just passing through. We saw the job of a co-op, that was pretty awesome, and we decided to shop. And so at the time, someone came, it was way before I came there, and they said it says a lot about a community that supports the co-op. Okay, so autonomy and independence, which is the fourth cooperative principle, and it says when making business skills or raising money, co-ops never compromise their autonomy or democratic member control. We include members when making business decisions through openly educating and sharing with our member base. So when we are making big decisions as far as things that may affect the business, we have to make sure that we're sharing that information with our members. So that way they are cued in of what is happening at the co-op and how it will possibly affect them. Okay, so cooperative principle number 5, which is education, training, and information. Co-ops provide education and training for their members, elected representatives, managers, and employees so they can contribute effectively to the development of their cooperative. So it is just investing it is actually investing in the members. So sometimes we attend provenders, or I am just I'm attending this week. I'm attending this week a convention about co-ops go back for impact and what the cooperative movement looks like globally and how you can actually impact your local community and how co-ops can work together. So if knowing that information, it helps me kind of relate that and see how Coos Food Co-op locally can support what's happening nationally or globally. Some of the other things is we also share information on topics like zero waste, climate emergency, sustainability, fair trade, and nutrition. The co-op is a hub for education. Right now, we actually have a food and nutrition, support the food and nutrition group and Healthy Rights Initiative. And so it's pretty fun. We have a P podcast that we just launched. And it basically, if we have a YouTube channel, and you know when you listen to when you listen to podcasts, it's kind of like someone's talking to you. And we wanted to kind of like navigate the podcast in the virtual world that we live in today and putting a face with the words. And so we have OSU Extension working alongside the co-op where we can create nutritional videos and things like that. So that way we are further educating our members. Okay. Cooperation among co-ops. Co-ops believe working together is the best strategy to empower their members and build a stronger co-op economy. So we put a couple examples here. And one of the examples is Oceana Food Co-op, who leases a truck to get organic produce to the coast. And the co-op acts as a pickup location for Port Orford Food Co-op. So they lease a truck. So this is a co-op, leases a truck, brings organic produce to the coast once a week to another co-op, and then another co-op benefits as well. So we have Port Orford who comes in and they mix up produce. So it's really cool seeing how this works. But then another example of cooperation among cooperatives was when we had the fires last year, and we stopped wind at Medford Food Co-op and National Food Co-op had employees who were trying to find houses because their houses burned down. And so we ended up raising funds here, the co-op members and shoppers raised funds, and we worked together to kind of cross-promote what was happening, so that way all the funds that we were raising here could go and disperse to their local priorities.
Oceana is a co-op in Newport. And they bring us a lot of the cottage industry stuff, including produce from Eugene. And yeah, it wouldn't have been, that's our source of produce until recently. We have another source. But anyway, they've done us a great service for many years.
Okay, so cooperative principle number 7, which is concern for community. Co-ops are community minded. They contribute to the sustainable development of their community by sourcing and investing locally. The concern for community is a huge part of our everyday operation. Even the way we support local producers is a concern for our community. But then we also have some really cool programs that we have at the co-op currently, like Community Cooking with the Co-op. We also partnered with, I don't know if y'all got some of the color machines, but we collaborate with the collective of environmental organizations, local environmental organizations, and we get seed bombs to pass out. I think this last Earth Day we made 200 seed bombs, and the Coos History Museum actually was a pickup location for that as well. We also have a little free library, and you can see we have a steward, which is a co-op member. We also have done educational conversations, and at the beginning of COVID, the co-op partnered with Bay Area Hospital to be a recipient of local masks that were being made by community members. We also host a plastic roundup, which is really fun. If you haven't been, or if you have plastic that you have questions about, please come see us this Friday. It's pretty cool sorting through plastics and seeing what works and doesn't work. And it's a huge form of education for the co-op. We also do community blood drives as well. We hosted about 5 this year. And the last one, we went from 23 to 33 donors, which was huge. use for our local community. So co-ops love the locals. These are, right now, currently we support 32 local businesses and counties. We also operate as a CSA pickup, which is a community supported agriculture by Valley Flora and Myrtle Glen Farms. We also act as a CSS pickup as well, which is a community supported fishery. So we have Valley Flora, who is one of our main produce producers. I personally love Valley Flora. I love the fact that they've been working alongside the co-op for over 20 years. I'm actually visiting them tomorrow. We're having like a video so that way you can see live footage of what happens on the farm, but they just know their stuff, and it's really exciting to see how someone is really excited about food, but excited about the science that goes along with organic gardening, which is really amazing. The other local producer, this was their first year having the CSA at the co-op. So it's really been awesome to see how they started and where they are today. It's Myrtle Glen Farm, which is nestled in the foothills of the southern northern coast mountains, and they do grow really great. I mean, if you have any questions and then our other producer, not producer, but our other distributor is Organically Grown, which is OGC. Organically Grown Company was founded in 1978 by a group of gardeners, small-scale farmers, hippies, and environmental activists with a shared vision to expand the availability of and demand for organic produce. They started the business as a nonprofit, which quickly evolved into a community-led cooperative with a mission to develop a fair and just market. As we continue to be a leader in promoting organic agriculture and sustainable food systems, we work diligently to find innovative solutions that support the ongoing success of our shared stakeholders, growers, consumers, co-workers, and communities. And this is a photo collage. Really awesome moments. I mean, I had people like dropping off photos. When I told them I was making a co-op newsletter, they were like, oh, I even had to make like an actual Dropbox just for photos. And we had films that people were really, so we had to develop the films and all of those things. You know, it was real awesome. They're like, well, I want that back to ourselves. Okay. But that was really cool. So we also have a board of directors, and we have Jamie Cole, who is our board president. We have Tony Andrews, Stephanie Hadley, Morgan Woods, who is the board secretary. We also have Nicole Howell, Jenny Jones, Andrew Henson, and also John Uno. He did not want to give me his photo. I was like, I need a photo. He's like, tomorrow. No. But that is okay. And so October is a special month in co-op. It's National Cooperative Month. And every year we work together to kind of like figure out what is our mission, what is our statement, how can we stand in solidarity with other co-ops across the country. And this year, it was Build Back for Impact. And what did that mean for the co-op? So me and my boss, Patrick Franks over here, came up with a statement. And for me, when I first started outreach, I could not wrap my head around just celebrating National Co-op Month for just 1 month. And so today what we work towards is how to integrate the messaging all year long until from October to the next October. So this month's statement is National Co-op Month is a great time to reflect on what the co-op means to our community as we commit to another year of serving healing. With the global pandemic and climate emergencies transforming our societal tapestry, along with the need to examine and change systemic racial inequalities, Coos Food Co-op is committed to being a vehicle for change in our community through collective action and education. As a cooperative, we ask ourselves, how can we build back for impact? Now more than ever, we need to support each other and our community through diversity, equity, and inclusion of all earthly inhabitants. Okay, we said a lot about the community. that supports the co-op. Thank you all for coming tonight and supporting the co-op.
I'd just like to add what a great gift we have having Jabbar on our team. He's the real conduit to the co-op in the community.
Do we have any questions? Do we want to open it up for question and answer? Okay, I'm giving the hand nod from there.
Plastic roundup, what time is it this coming Friday?
So the plastic roundup is from 5 to 7. So, and it's really, it's the second Friday of each month. And we did slow it down due to the new variant, but we did decide to bring it back, so it is really exciting. Co-op.
Does everybody know the requirement?
So we only accept 2s, 4s, and 5s. And they have to be clean plastics and also without the label on them. So if you have questions about what plastics do we take, and then also Les Rob takes some plastics that we don't necessarily take as well, but we are more than welcome to educate you on any plastic that you may have. And just to piggyback off of the plastics, we also do battery recycling. We have a green battery recycle box in the front. I just collected some batteries tonight. So it's pretty exciting. Tony?
Oh, I was just gonna say what Deb said about how they have to be super clean without the labels.
What type of plastic is it? What number is it?
2s, 4s, and 5s. But if they're not clean, they get rejected. Be prepared, right?
Ray?
I was just gonna be back to that Safeway does. In all of their entrances, they take, they have photos of what it is, it's plastic bag, but it is what they put it under. But it is bubble wrap, it is, garment bags from, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a really nice, selection of plastics they take that aren't the hard plastics. It's the plastics nobody else is. Right, and again, clean, no food, et cetera. Ziplocs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's plastics.
Any more questions? Ariel, are there any questions online? Okay. Oh, Tony?
You want to talk about Roundup for Change at all?
Oh, okay, so, yes. Okay, so the Roundup for Change program is something that we have been trying to kind of figure out how to actually integrate Roundup for Change into an everyday monthly thing of the co-op. It is a tradition in co-ops where it falls directly under our 7th principle, which is concern for community, where we ask patrons to round up at the co-op when shopping. So the Roundup for Change, at the beginning of the co-op and at the beginning of the pandemic, we saw that there was an increase in folks visiting the food banks. And so we got wind of it and we rounded up. We ended up kind of organizing, saying, okay, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna revisit it. We know there's a need. And once we did that, we ended up raising like $1,600 of just simply rounding up. And it's not just us, it's everyone that shops at the co-op. We rounded up for the fire relief fund. And so recently in August, Tony helped kind of configure everything. We have organizations all the way up to 2023 that every month the co-op will be rounding up, and it goes to local nonprofits and also local initiatives as well. And if you're not a nonprofit, we can help you kind of get a physical sponsor as well, so that way you can see it. So in August, we rounded up for both school districts in order to raise money for school supplies. That was really awesome. And then for September, I'm making sure I get my months right. Okay, September, we raised funds for the SAFE project, which is a women's domestic violence shelter locally, in Coos Bay. And then for this month, we are rounding up for Coos Waffle Project that, well, the Devereaux Center is not open on Thursdays. And so what they ended up doing was they wanted to figure out how folks can still get food. And they were like, well, breakfast. And so I had the chance to volunteer with them, and they do bottomless waffles every Thursday at the Devereaux Center. They reached out to the co-op because they were trying to push their flowers, and we ended up working on a deal so that way they can get none from the co-op. So now, because of COVID, they make waffle sandwiches. And every Thursday is a different type of sandwich. It is pretty cool. Really innovative. I mean, when I look at them, I'm like, this is amazing. So right now, we're rounding up for Coos Waffle Project. And even if you have jams, butters, or peanut butter that you would like to donate, bring them into the co-op and let folks know that they're for the roundup. So yeah, that's something that we have been doing every month, and try to give it to the cashier because they are the ones that are out there asking and raising the funds directly. Any more questions? The feedback. Okay, well, I would like to thank you all for coming out here tonight and spending some time with us, and a lot of laughs. Thank y'all for bearing with me as I was nervous at the beginning, but y'all are my family, and I see y'all every day at the co-op, and we've built some relationships, and it does say a lot about a community that supports the co-op. It's just huge. So thank you all.
Got the lights on in the museum exhibits. If you haven't seen our exhibits, you're welcome to go through. Theirs is one that we opened just before COVID, so maybe some of you